Thanks to everyone who have subscribed. If you have not, please do. And thanks for coming out here. I really appreciate you.
We have repatriated over 30,000 Almajiris from other states in the north back to their states. And we are happy to receive any Almajiris from any state of the Federation that are indigenous to Kaduna State. The situation in Kano is such that if these children were not brought to us, they would simply have died in Kano. Some of them would survive the disease, but the situation in Kano is overwhelming. I don't think anyone will remember to look out for Almajiris and test. Anything is better than this system, and we are determined as northern governors to end it. We didn't take the decision just because of COVID-19. COVID-19 provided the opportunity because COVID-19 lockdown has enabled us to know where the Almajiris are and to be able to get them at one go. We've been looking at ways and means of ending this system because it has not worked for the children, it has not worked for northern Nigeria, it has not worked for Nigeria, and it has to end. And this is the time. By the grace of God, this crisis of the COVID-19 pandemic has provided the opportunity to end this system once and for all. It is gone. At least I can assure you that in Kaduna State it is gone. In fact, today we reviewed a law that will formally prohibit this system. We are not just abolishing the system, we are not just telling the parents of the children that we've taken to their parents that they must go to school when school should open. And we have tracked each and every one of the parents, and we are going to counsel them on parental responsibility. It's a long process, but the children will go to school. They must go to school. At least in Kaduna State, I can assure you of that.
Hello, my people. You just watched the video of Erufai speaking. Erufai is the governor of Kaduna State, in one of the northern states, Kaduna precisely. You heard him speaking that this system of Almajiri must end because it has not worked and these children don't go to school. In case you are wondering what is Almajiri, these are children who are born. They have parents, so don't get it wrong. They are not orphans. And they just leave them to fend for themselves at a very early age. So they just walk on the street and they just get by anywhere belle face, if you understand. So they just beg along the streets. There is no bearing, there is nothing particular to look forward to. They don't grow up with any love, any direction, or anybody leading them. That's why you see the north, there is a lot of illiteracy, a lot of people not educated, not understanding what it really means. That's why even when they go to their religious center, the imam can just tell them any words and they just believe it because they've not been given the opportunity to be rational thinkers, to be able to analyze and see things for themselves. It's a way to keep them captive, it's a way to keep them being loyal and ever submissive to them. It is wrong to keep people in that kind of bondage. Give them the opportunity to be educated. Anyway, the advent of COVID-19 has exposed this bad practice in the north. I don't know what the northern government do with the allocation of their funds from the government because it's clearly not to educate the people. These ones, they don't go to school. There is nothing. They just wake up in the morning, no bathing, no nothing, just roam about. Next day, sleep on the streets everywhere, anywhere. That's it. No accountability, no guidance, no direction. Anyway, Erufai has spoken that this will come to an end. Let's hear what he has to say. Northern governors ready to confront anyone opposed to ending Almajiri culture. Lagos Governor Erufai, Governor of Kaduna State, on Wednesday said the 19 northern governors in the country have collectively agreed on putting an end to the Almajiri system in the country and are ready to face anyone who dares to stand on their path in realizing this objective. Speaking on Channels television, like you have watched, you saw it yourself, what he was saying. He said they are ready. They are ready. They are going to speak to the parents. They are going to educate them on the importance of looking after their children, on how to manage them, and they're going to make school compulsory. In the north, you see, that's where we have child marriage. That's where we have a lot of things going on. So the 19 governors in the north have agreed now, according to Erufai, saying they will oppose anyone who does not want this Almajiri system to end. This Almajiri system is a system where you enslave somebody. They are not being exposed to modern reality, no exposure to what really life is about. They just go about, and guess what? They are prone to being, being abused. They are prone to becoming, trouble themselves, bandits, especially if they mingle with the wrong crowd. You see, so there is a lot of disadvantage, and it does not move Nigeria forward in any way, form, or kind. And I really wonder why these governors, up until now, have not spoken about it. There is no emphasis on education in the north. There is no emphasis on children going to school and becoming great. But guess what? Their children are going to school. Can't you see that they don't really love their people? Why? They want them to be submissive, and so that they can continue to lead them and direct them forever and ever, without them questioning them. So it's a system of slavery. It's a system of just keeping the people perpetually down, not moving forward, not advancing, not making progress. So this system has been going on for a very long time. I can't tell you exactly when it started, but they just move ahead, and it's been acceptable. They just move ahead, they just go around. And mostly it's done to the male children. It's mostly done to the male children. Some as young as 4, 5, they leave them. Oh, yeah, go and fend for yourself. I've tried my best by giving birth to you. But that's not all that, being a parent is all about. Clearly, the North have not been educated on a lot of things. There is a lot of inadequacies in the North. That's why the few educated ones rule over the poor, and the majority stark illiterate. That's why you can see a child as young as 7, 8, child marriage being done in the North, which is not acceptable in any way, form, or kind. But guess what? The North has come to take this as a normal practice. It's been going on, and they have found out that it's a cheap way of keeping the people suppressed. So they've never opposed it. Rather, in the speaker in the house, what they go to talk about is how to empower Boko Haram. We heard, if you follow Apple Line Media, you will see that the person explaining how Boko Haram started, it was by 3 northern governors or so that came together and put $100 million together to sponsor this whole thing. And what did they say? They go to places like Niger Republic and the rest and look for jobless Almajiris like this as well, because it's a part of I don't know if it's a part of the Islamic culture or part of their religion. And they pay them good money to come and fight in Nigeria, all in the bid to try to Islamize or to subject the nation to their kind and their mindset. So they go about and they bring these people, but they've never thought about educating their population. Can you see why Nigeria is where it is and why there is no way of moving forward? Because those that are at the top, especially in the north, has not given it the proper consideration. That's why you see in Nigeria, the standard of education is 2. There is it's the what's it called, WAEC score in the north. Is different. They can say 100, you can go for medicine. Just exaggerating. Why? So this has been going on for a very long time, but the northern governors have not thought about it. Apparently, education is not a priority in the north. So you want to go to school in Nigeria, you write JAM, the same questions I want to assume, and the standard in the north, in the south, south, southeast, southwest, might be 300 to study a course like medicine. But apparently in the north, if you get 150, you are a good candidate. In fact, you will get in straight, and you'll be supported with every way and every form to get educated. For the few that want to go to school, that their parents have thought that education is a good way. But in the South, you even struggle to go to school. So when they meet in the House of Representatives, because every state is represented in the House of Senate, House of Representatives, and all that, what do they talk about? What are their priorities if education is not one of the key words? So how do you expect Nigerians to move forward? They go to the House of Senate and House of Representatives, and the laws they are trying to put is bringing in a Boko Haram, repentant supposedly, in quote and unquote, and bringing them in the Air Force fleets, and putting them, relocating them into the very place where they have disposed the people, the original inhabitants of that place, and they put them there to say they have repented. You can see that Nigeria, the government, there is no sense of direction, and they don't want the country to really move forward. Because if they do, their priorities will be education. Can you see that? Have you been you've been hearing the latest on the news? Every state, almost every state in the south has been, apprehending Almajiris from the lorries that are coming. So they fit human beings and cattle and sheep and goats and what have you in the same lorry, all coming from the north. Is it in a Lagos state, Ondo state, Delta state, in the east, to mention but a few all over? And guess what? They come into the state. What are they coming in? They're just coming in. There is no perspective. There is nothing. There is nowhere they are going to. No aim. So if there is nothing, what would they result to? Would they not end up stealing if there is nothing to eat? Because they come in with intent to beg, that's the way to survive and sleep on the streets. So what happened? What is next? There is nothing. And guess what? Even with this advent of all COVID-19 thing, most of them are infected. They've not been treated, they've not been quarantined, they've not been looked after. They just push them into the states. It's wrong. We cannot continue like this in Nigeria and expect the country to move forward. No. It makes us a backward nation. And until the northern governors begin to realize that it's not about power struggle, but if you want your people to emerge to become leaders of tomorrow, give a program of 20 years. Infuse infuse education into them. Let them see the importance. Talk about it in your mosque. Talk about it wherever they gather. Stop using them as a slave and by cutting them from education so that you can continue to suppress them. This is modern day slavery going on in the north. And everybody is seeing it and keeping quiet. It's a shame. It's really a shame. And that's why we are saying today, Nigerian youth, you must rise up. We must rise up and take away leadership from this continuous recycling of those people with no ideas, with no innovative to move Nigeria forward. For if we must move forward as a nation, we must have an agenda, we must have an aim, we must have a direction. Otherwise, we're just there and going around in circles without achieving anything. Anyway, my people, what do you think? Leave a comment. What do you think about what Erifai has said? Like us, subscribe. God bless you. Bye for now.